Let me tell you something that no one in Washington wants to admit. America is not afraid of war, oil prices, or elections. Right now, in 2025, what keeps the power players up at night is one word: India. You're not hearing this on CNN. You're not reading this in the New York Times. But behind closed doors, there's a rising panic because India's growth, not just in economics, but in influence, innovation, and independence, is the biggest threat to American dominance since the Cold War. And here's the part they really don't want you to know. This isn't some potential future. It's already happening right now while everyone's distracted. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly what's changed, why the U.S. can't stop it, and why you need to understand this shift. Because if you don't, you're missing the biggest power transformation of our lifetime. By the end of this talk, you won't just know why America's terrified. You'll understand why India's rise isn't just inevitable, it's unstoppable. There's a saying in diplomacy: the loudest power isn't always the most dangerous. It's the quiet one making moves while others are distracted. That's exactly what India has been doing for the last decade. And here in 2025, the shift has become undeniable. Let's be clear. The U.S. doesn't fear India in a traditional military sense. This isn't about nuclear weapons, aircraft carriers, or tanks. No, what's creating unease inside the Pentagon, Capitol Hill, and Silicon Valley boardrooms is far more subtle, far more strategic, and far more permanent. India is shifting global power dynamics, not through confrontation, but through competence, not with threats, but with progress. 1. Global influence without the noise. Unlike China's aggressive posturing or Russia's overt hostility, India is taking a quieter, more collaborative approach to global dominance. And that's exactly what makes it so effective. The U.S. is used to spotting and reacting to direct threats. It's good at war, at sanctions, at pressuring governments into submission. But India doesn't play by those rules. It doesn't need to. India is building relationships on every continent: Africa, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, not by flexing military might, but by investing in infrastructure, digital services, and healthcare. Where the U.S. sees geopolitical chessboards, India sees economic bridges. This isn't just smart diplomacy, it's disruptive diplomacy. And it's working. 2. The rise of Brand India. For decades, Make in India was a slogan. Now it's a strategy. In 2025, India is no longer just the back office of the world. It's becoming the brain trust, with Apple, Tesla, and Google expanding operations across Indian states, and Indian CEOs heading some of the world's largest corporations, from Microsoft to IBM to Adobe. The brand of India has shifted from outsourced to indispensable. This is a power flex the U.S. didn't see coming, not through war games or trade wars, but through talent, efficiency, and innovation. India is no longer just supplying coders, it's exporting leaders, ideas, and culture. 3. Strategic non-alignment, a new form of power. One of the reasons the U.S. is uncomfortable: India refuses to play on anyone's team. During the Cold War, you had to choose U.S. or USSR. Now, nations are trying to force a similar binary with China and the West. But India's response? We'll partner with everyone and be owned by no one. India trades with Russia, collaborates with the U.S., negotiates with China, and leads the global South, all at the same time. This level of independence, strategic non-alignment too, gives India a unique kind of soft power that's nearly impossible for the U.S. to control, contain, or predict. That unpredictability is what's keeping Western policymakers on edge. Because if India doesn't need the U.S., it can't be leveraged. And if it can't be leveraged, it's truly powerful. 4. Digital leadership and the global south, perhaps one of the biggest shifts no one saw coming. India's role as the digital mentor of the developing world. While the West is busy debating AI ethics and battling tech monopolies, India is exporting entire digital ecosystems from UPI, its real-time payments platform, to Aadhaar, its digital ID system, to open source government platforms that are transforming governance in Africa and Southeast Asia. India isn't just growing, it's leading. And that leadership isn't pointed at the G7 or NATO. It's directed at the global South, the 5+ billion people who will define the next century. That's where the future lies. That's where the U.S. influence is fading, and that's exactly where India is planting its flag. 5. The U.S. knows what happens next. History is full of warnings. When a new power rises, slowly, steadily, and silently, it's usually the most dangerous to the existing order. The British Empire didn't collapse overnight. Neither did the Roman Empire. It happened through quiet erosion, through new powers filling in the gaps, while the dominant one looked the other way. India's rise is not loud. It's not explosive. It's methodical, cooperative, and deeply intelligent. And that's exactly why it's terrifying, because it cannot be stopped without risking full-blown global instability. The U.S. can't sanction India. It can't invade. It can't isolate. Every option risks backfiring. So what does America do? It watches, worries, and waits. The power shift is happening not in dramatic headlines, but in quiet boardrooms, trade agreements, digital infrastructure, and global hearts and minds. America isn't afraid of India's tanks. It's afraid of India's traction. That's what this keynote is about, because the future isn't being fought, it's being built. And India is holding the blueprint. When people think of innovation, they picture Silicon Valley, the glass-walled offices, the hoodie-wearing CEOs, the flashy tech launches. But here's what no one in America wants to say out loud. The real future of tech is being written thousands of miles away in India. It's no longer a question of if India will become a technological superpower. That moment has already passed. The new question is this: how will the world, especially the United States, adjust to a reality where India isn't just contributing to global innovation, but leading it? Because that's exactly what's happening in 2025. And it's sending quiet shockwaves through the heart of American industry. 1. From coders to creators, the talent evolution for decades, India's global tech reputation was tied to outsourcing. Armies of engineers working behind the scenes, writing code for American corporations. But in 2025, that story has evolved dramatically. India is no longer just producing coders, it's producing creators, founders, researchers, and thought leaders in AI, robotics, biotech, and quantum computing. Indian universities like the Indian Institutes of Technology, IIETs, Indian Institutes of Science, Education, and Research, IISers, and newer AI-femixed institutes are generating world-class talent that no longer needs to go to the U.S. for opportunity. The opportunity is right at home. This is what's rattling Silicon Valley, because the brain drain that used to benefit the U.S. is reversing. Top-tier talent is staying in India, building Indian companies, solving Indian problems, and scaling them globally. 2. The AI revolution is not American anymore. Artificial intelligence isn't just the next big thing. It's the thing. It's redefining industries, politics, healthcare, warfare, and education. And India? It's not just participating, it's setting standards. With massive investments in open source AI, Indian firms are building large language models in native Indian languages. expanding access to rural populations, and applying AI to agriculture, government services, and micro-enterprise in ways that Silicon Valley has never considered. And here's the kicker. Indian AI isn't just for India. It's for the world. The U.S. focuses on monetizing AI through ads, SaaS platforms, and enterprise automation. India's approach is different. Open innovation, public digital goods, and inclusivity. That scares American tech giants because it's not just competition, it's a different value system. 3. Startup surge and unicorn storm in 2025. India boasts over 130 plus unicorns. Startups valued at over $1 billion, 0 cents, and the number is climbing. But it's not just about quantity. The quality of innovation is what's stunning global investors. Startups like Razorpay and PhonePe redefining fintech infrastructure, Zerodha challenging traditional investing models, Encore Games and Dream11 shaping the Indian gaming ecosystem, Ola Electric